Hello and welcome to another great edition of Real Talk with Rajheem. Today we're going to be talking about living with HIV and AIDS. It's a very serious topic. Joining me on my panel is a great group of young men, and we're going to be talking about this from a black male's perspective.
Targeting the youth from the ages of 13 to 80, because I believe everybody's still young. But I got infected with HIV 13 years ago through the practice of oral sex. So that's why I'm here today, to definitely talk to the people out there, parents, pastors, to do more.
Okay, all right. And Mr. Francis?
I'm founder and CEO of Citywide Project, and basically we're trying to form a coalition of citywide agencies, whether they're AIDS service organizations, faith-based organizations, radio, media, et cetera, to really work on this AIDS epidemic among black Americans.
Okay. And Mr. Reggie?
That's what my kids call me.
Mr. Reggie? I should have said Mr. Smith.
No, that's cool.
Okay,
Reggie's
Reggie.
fine, I appreciate you. You know, among other things, I was diagnosed with HIV in 1988. Been with my wife for 25 years. Through God's grace, she's still HIV negative. The executive director of HIV Anonymous, and we advocate for the creating an atmosphere that's conducive to honest sharing and making sure that we come to some kind of understanding that we are all affected by HIV. You know, there's a whole lot of separation where people feel like, well, I'm diagnosed and you're not, or, you know, and there's all of these different reasons, but ultimately we're all affected.
Okay. How does AIDS get into the body? And either one of you gentlemen can chime in on it. How does it get into your body to start with?
It's actually HIV that'll get into your system.
Okay.
Right.
You know, AIDS is a man-made diagnosis. It's a way of classifying people.
It is the progressive stage, it's the other end.
Correct.
You can be well, live well with HIV. It really depends on how you're living.
Right. And to your question, it would be seminal fluid, vaginal fluid, blood, and breast milk.
So
is how, from an infected person.
So then, in that case, the key element is creating a barrier between good blood and bad fluids.
Well, that not only a barrier, but knowing your partner's status.
Okay.
Whether they're male, female, but knowing your partner's status and then practicing safe sex to prevent you from coming into contact with someone that has been infected with HIV. Talking about that before the cameras went on, it was talking about men that have sex with men, MSM. The mindset from a heterosexual standpoint is to wear a condom so she doesn't get pregnant. So as a gay man, if I had sex with a man, I can't get him pregnant, so I'm not going to wear a condom. I think what we were talking about earlier was that you're finding more and more using condoms to be that barrier from getting STDs as well as HIV. I think what's key is that's not a sexual identity issue. That's something that we should do across the board. Again, knowing your partner's status and using safe sex practices.
Assuming that you're in love with someone, you're dating, you're married or whatever, because it can be a wife that goes into the hospital and says that I'm having these symptoms, and these are post-transmittal symptoms. And she says, doctor, I'm experiencing da-da-da-da-da, and whatever those symptoms are that she's having.
Okay.
And then she's tested, and she comes to find out that she is HIV positive. After the counseling and all that is concerned, she thought she had a good partner that wasn't cheating on her.
If we're going to assume anything, that if you're having sex, that your partner is HIV positive.
Okay.
That would be the assumption that I would go under and disprove that.
You know, the Bible tells us to be married, to be one man and one woman together. And so if you do it the way he tells you, then AIDS wouldn't be here.
And I'm an elder as well. I think my issue here in the Bible Belt is that we have to get people to that level. So I truly believe that we have to save lives as well as save souls. So we can say from a pulpit, the Bible Belt has gone, Georgia in particular, has gone from number 11 of new HIV cases to number 5 in a 2-year period. So we can stand behind our pulpits and preach that, and I agree, but abstinence, it has to be twofold. Abstinence is something that we preach more so towards the women and not to our men,